The following program is produced and sponsored by you, the TBN partners, and is only made possible through your generous support.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Joy in Our Town. I'm Ann Farrell Tata, your host. Today we have a full program. The first segment, we're going to be talking to Carim and Michelle Hyatt about marriage. And the second segment, we are going to be talking to some members of Peace and Life for Veterans. But first off, I'd like to welcome Carim and Michelle Hyatt. And Carim is an author, and he's written a book, Staying Married, Becoming One Flesh. Welcome to the program. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
So we're going to be talking about marriage. So let's start with your marriage. Can you tell us a little bit about your marriage and how you came to write this book?
Sure. I've been married to this beautiful woman for 14 years, going on 15. And our journey has been so interesting and at the same time so beautiful. And it's a lifelong journey. That's the way we take it. So we went into this marriage with the mindset of commitment. I met Michelle in New York about, I would say,
20 years at least.
Forever, before we got married. And it's funny that how we were put together intentionally because we actually met about 6 months before we actually met again.
Right.
So that's how we actually came together. And the journey that we went through so far and the experiences that we have faced drove me to write the book on staying married, becoming one flesh.
Well, that's interesting that immediately, early on in your marriage, when you decided to come together, you made a decision that you were going to be committed. Because I think, can you talk about it? A lot of people, I think they don't even really realize what they're getting into because they get caught up in the wedding.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it's funny, when I looking back now, how much time and energy and effort we put in that one day. Mm-hmm. And then we had no idea that the same time, energy, and effort needed to be put into the marriage. But there was no one to kind of walk us through. Everyone, mom, dad, friends, family, they were, I'll do this. But then when we started hitting rocky times, which every marriage, good marriage, will hit from time to time, we had no idea who to call.
Right.
We had no idea what to do.
Right.
So we decided, and I was talking to a friend of mine from my church just this past Sunday at her home, and that's what we thought about, like that word, if you're not committed, and we talked before about the better and the worse, and we say it, and we may say it because it's a part of the vow, but when you really take it and you own that this is for better or worse, there's no book to go to and say, okay, what's going to be the better part or the worst part? It's just whatever comes, you have to be committed. Like I am committed to Carim. And whatever comes, the in-betweens, I have no idea what that's going to be.
Right.
I can't see tomorrow. But all I know is that I'm committed to him, I'm committed to this marriage, and whatever it takes to get us through to the next time or the next season in our lives, then that's what I'm committed to. It's not about just a wedding and pretty dress and I hate dresses, first of all. And, but I had to wear it.
Yeah.
So it's just like if you're in a marriage, you might not sometimes love might not want to take the garbage out.
Right.
Or love might not want to cook or do whatever, we think we need to do in a marriage. But because of that commitment, you do it and you do it for the other person. So, that's how I know that once you're committed to him, I'll do what it takes to get us through. And if he's committed to me in this marriage, that we're committed to do whatever it takes to kind of get us through things.
Right.
So.
Well, and you talk about people that they do hit rocky times. Mm-hmm. Why do you think couples are reluctant to go and try to get help? They might complain about it with a friend, a girlfriend, or a guy friend, but why do they not go and try to get help?
I would say it's a matter of a big part of it is pride. They
Yeah.
don't want others to know and be real to get the
Right.
help that they need.
Right.
So they hold back because of pride. They're
Yeah.
afraid to, speak about the reality of the problems. But we all have problems. So,
Yeah.
Right.
we need someone to come alongside us, and a lot of people are reluctant to do that.
Yeah.
And
Well, in
that's-
your experience, what are some of the sort of the top issues that are affecting marriages that make them start to have trouble?
I mean, for he and I, one issue, there was one time when we were both without jobs.
That's
And
stressful.
Yeah.
Stress.
That would be
it's-
stressful if you're single.
That's
you know,
right.
and then-
That's right. And we have a son, Tyler. He's now 11, but we had no jobs, and it's when you've never faced that before, and people might say, "Oh, I'll pray for you," or "I hope you find a job," or whatever. It's that every single day, that grind, that what you have to go through about not having money. And couples fight about money a lot. People are ashamed to go and say, "I am broke," because they want to. This is what people like. You guys look so great
Yeah,
together.
you do go together.
Right, but they have no idea what's going on the
Right.
inside.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what people would like to present every single time, but that doesn't mean that's the situation that it is.
Right.
So I think pride, like my husband said, and I think shame, you don't want to expose what's really going on, but that's really the only way to get help. If you expose it, and it doesn't mean going to every person that you know and go, "Listen, we're having problems," but like for us, we have a couple right now in our church where they've come alongside us as a mentor, and it's not
Are they
counseling
older?
per se. Yeah, they are older. They've been married forever.
Right.
And they're pretty much really like he and I. I'm a little bit more outgoing, and my husband's a little bit more reserved.
Yeah.
And but they're so true to what they believe in, and that's what they impart on us. And at any point, if we're having a little struggling, we just can't seem to get through it, we can go and say, "Hey, do you have a minute?"
Now, how did you find them? Did they find you, or did you find them?
We-
Because that's key too.
Well,
right?
I think we made it a part of our lives that, look, we're not going to sit. This is not what it's meant for.
Right.
If you were having an issue, just like if you're sick, you'd go to the doctor.
Right.
Right. So if we're having a little bit of a sickness in our marriage, hey, let's go. What do you think? Like my husband said to me, "Do you think you want to go see so and so and go talk?" I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And there was a time when we were having struggles like any other married couple, and we did refuse, if that's a
Yeah.
lack of a
You
better
Shame.
were
word,
reluctant.
Yeah.
You were maybe
reluctant,
reluctant. Yeah.
to get someone to come alongside us. But I think it reached a point where you have to be real
Yeah.
and know that you're going to have struggles.
Yeah.
You're going to have trials, but there's beauty to come in the
Absolutely.
marriage if you get someone else to come alongside who has been experienced in that
Right.
area or has going through years of
Marriage.
experience in marriage, and iron sharpens iron,
Right.
pretty
Absolutely.
much. So
Well, and be intentional about picking the right couple,
The
right?
right-
Someone
with
that's-
wisdom.
that-
With
yes,
wisdom. Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you guys have a passion for helping marriages, right? So can you talk a little
Yes.
bit about some of the work you do with other couples?
Sure. We host what we call a life group that is for married couples to encourage them to stay married, and it's where we get together in a small intimate setting and share struggles and share the beauty that we're going through. We share both the hard times and
Absolutely.
the great times, and we just encourage each other and come into more specific things that we're struggling with and be real and open with each other. And it has been so great, and every one of us we're growing in our marriages and encourage each couple.
Right. Now, talk a little bit about, you mentioned role models, but, a lot of people come into marriage without a good role model in their own family because there's so much divorce.
Right.
Maybe they didn't see what a good, healthy marriage is. And is that something they can learn to become a good husband or wife?
Yeah, I think, especially for me, there were no marriages for me to model. My husband's grandparents was his model.
Yeah.
So he had an idea of what it looked like.
Right.
And my idea was what I saw on television
Oh,
or
yeah.
magazines.
So you had to learn
I had to
what it
learn
looks like.
to be married, learn how to be a wife, learn what my expectations are. And it's not even about fitting. it's about that suitable partnership. It's about being that suitable person, because if I'm looking for him to be a suitable person, but I don't know what my suitable role is
Yeah.
in a marriage, so that needs to be established. And I think sometimes, it's, again, for me, it was television.
Yeah.
I had no idea what coming home to parents who were married, what that looked like. So my household, so it was a broken household. That doesn't mean it was broken down, but it wasn't what I was getting to be prepared to go into in a marriage.
Right.
So I had no idea. So, I think when you get together with other couples, like my husband says, iron sharpen iron.
Yeah.
You become that teachable spirit, and they learn, and you
Yeah.
learn as well.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
Well, and even think about, boy brain versus girl brain. I mean,
Right,
you
right.
process things differently.
Differently.
Like, can you talk a little bit
Absolutely.
about, how you encourage people to, maybe a girl didn't grow up with brothers, so she's not
Right.
used to being around guys. She doesn't know how the boy brain works.
Right,
What do you
right.
say to those couples?
Again, it's having an accountability partner. A guy, I personally have a men's group also where we, talk about struggles in our marriage, and we would get real with each other also. And same for the wives, they could have a group of women who they could get encouragement from and share stuff that they're struggling with, and that helps to enhance their
Right.
person that they are, and with wisdom, of course.
Right.
And that's a great way, I think, of helping to grow in yourself in the marriage.
and when you mentioned about the girl brain, boy brain, I'm a total tomboy.
Yeah.
So I grew up with brothers
So
playing.
it's easier probably for you. That part of the marriage, you were okay.
So I play basketball. I do all the
yeah.
stuff that guys do, but I'm still a girl.
Yeah.
So I enjoy things that girl. I love shopping. I love whatever. But again, it's all about, like, if my husband, I think I have a word where I used to say whatever
Yeah.
for everything.
Girls love that word, by the way.
Girls love that word.
I know
and
you can't
he
stereotype, but
can't stand that. So every time I would go, oh, whatever, it would really make him. So now
'Cause
I
it's
have
not
to learn,
whatever.
because it's not whatever. So I had to learn his love language, so
Yeah.
to speak, and try not to feed into stuff that I know will become like a jab to him.
Right.
So
And she used the key word, learning.
yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you
Because you're always
learn.
learning.
You're
I'm sure you're
always-
still learning even now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are. Even now,
Yeah.
we're still learning.
Now, talk a little bit about, because you guys have actually found some common interests, things that you can do together as a couple.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, we fish.
Yeah, we love fishing. I actually came into the marriage not fishing, not
okay.
loving. Not that I didn't love it, but I didn't even do it when I was younger. But Michelle is a fisher person since she was young. But
She
my
taught you
thing-
to fish?
She taught me to fish.
Oh, okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
You're like a guy's dream. That you fish, you play basketball.
But I adapted to what she loves.
Yeah.
And it became a partnership.
And
I
you,
get
did
to
you
love
find
it.
you liked it, or did you
I love
find
it.
that?
Love it.
It actually is our therapy. Whenever
Yeah,
we
yeah,
go
it
through hard
is.
times, we
Yeah.
sit and fish and we talk about our issues, and we,
Yeah.
come together as one
Yeah.
flesh.
Yeah. And as soon as he finds out that I was right and he was wrong, we wrap it
Oh,
up.
yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
exactly. There you
I'm
go.
kidding.
Okay, so just, we only have a few minutes left.
Okay.
Your book, Staying Married, Becoming One Flesh, can you just tell a little bit about what it's about and also how people could get that?
Sure. It's an encouragement for people who are already married to stay married. And I use the word
That's a
stay.
good premise.
Yeah.
Yes.
The word stay because it's a growing process and it's a journey.
Absolutely.
But also for people who are preparing for marriage, to give them insights on, what it's going to take, the reality of coming into the marriage with the wrong expectation as opposed to the right expectation.
Absolutely.
To, share with them that, you're going to have hard times,
Right.
but you're also going to have great times. But in the hard times, that's where the real love comes out.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much a book of encouragement to staying married.
And people can get it. Is it on? Do you have a website or
Yes.
is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon, but it's also the website www.jesus-ready.org.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Y'all are a beautiful
Thank
couple,
you.
Thank you.
and we just really appreciate your being authentic and transparent about your own
Absolutely.
marriage. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. We have been joined by Carim and Michelle Hyatt. We've been talking about marriage, and we hope you'll stay tuned because we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about peace and life for veterans. Thank you so much. Stay with us. Thank you so much for being here. That was perfect.
Thank you.